Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Culver Town Council. At this time, I would ask that everyone please silence or turn off your cell phones or other electronic devices so we may conduct the meeting in an orderly manner. Please be advised that this meeting is being broadcast and recorded for public access and publication by the town in accordance with Indiana open door law and local meeting procedures. Your participation in this meeting is your consent to have your statements included in the public record. Our council values public participation and input. And citizens will have the opportunity to address the council regarding concerns, questions, comments, or agenda-related matters during the designated public input section. We respectfully ask that your comments be made to the council. They be made respectfully in terms of allotted time and conducted in a professional and courteous manner. Except for the public hearing, audience participation will not be permitted during the remainder of the meeting, so the council may effectively conduct the business before it. Thank you for your cooperation, your interest in the business of our town, and we'll now call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
William Clevenger.
Present.
Joe Day.
Present.
Jenny Monroe. Here. Dana Neer.
Present.
Sally Ricciardi.
Here. Will you all please join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public concern utility ordinance violations or appeals. Anyone in the room for any of those items? Yes, sir.
Kerry Chesterman, 520 South Plymouth. I just want to bring this up at the beginning of the summer because it's been a couple of years since it's been addressed. There's been a lot of talk and some excuses, but no movement. And that is the painting of the no parking zones around town. And I know that we had issues with paint, we had issues with machinery, we had issues with manpower. Is there any impediments that we know of that would prohibit the continuing or the repainting of the areas that were once painted and now have almost completely flaked off and need to be readdressed?
Mr. Dante, you want to address that?
Yeah, I've been in coordination with the street department, and I think there has been movement. We have painted in the past. We can always cite manpower, but I understand that that's probably going to sound like an excuse. It is on the list. We do have the signage up. There has been an addition, obviously, that with the BFW. There's one in the making on we did put one in front of Easterday's office at Main Street, and there's an appeal to Kim's on the here down on Lake Shore and then Main on that corner. She's looking to maybe get one, so I'll be bringing that in front of the council as we work with her on that. There is a demand for paint, there's no doubt. There was a backlog because of the way we used to do it. We've been working with Chad. We've put at least, maybe 5 or 6 new streets on the list, I think, in the last year. That list is ever growing, and we've been playing catch up since we used to hand paint those, and we now have a sprayer purchased. I would cite that we are catching up from the past, Mr. Cheseldine, in that there is a limited amount of manpower, and I do understand that that might sound like an excuse, but those are the realities of the perimeter. But I encourage you to keep honest, keep reminding us, and I will keep doing it. And I hope you don't think I ignore it. We do bring it up, but there is a list of things, and I just keep reminding, and we keep moving. And I know the guys try, but we will see to it best we can. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'll be here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes.
I have a question. It's Marlene Mahler, Union Township trustee in Culver. I have been notified that the council had been invited to the fire station last week for a meeting, and the township was not invited. And I understand that they have
discussion, or I don't know if there's any decision been made about the change in the truck that we're gonna trade in for the new fire truck. And I just wanted to clarify that. I don't know how many of you went to the fire station, but I know I was not invited, and I was very upset with that because the township pays half of those bills, and I think we should have been invited. But I wanted to find out what happened, what we're doing, and did you in fact change the truck that's gonna be traded in? I mean, how did you do that without township permission?
With council's permission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take responsibility for that. That was an oversight on my part in the invitation, and I do apologize. I was working with Bobby. That got rescheduled a couple times, Marlene, and I didn't include you on the list. So that's on me.
If it was rescheduled a couple times.
No, no,
I should have been invited at least one of the times.
Exactly.
No.
I should probably say the date was up in the air a couple times, not rescheduled, but that's on me no matter what. Okay? That was on my level of communication and lack thereof, and I own that. It was a conversation rather than a decision. They wanted to take the council members, and should have been you, just to show them the equipment. Some of the council members hadn't been there and look at it. Mr. Day was in attendance. Mr. Neer was in attendance, being kind of new. I hadn't seen it before, didn't know anything. There was a conversation about the plan to be approached, and I think that now that, thank you for the kick, we will get you into the conversation that's happening, but nothing has been voted on. They're proposing, they presented reasons why they make trade in the rescue truck rather than the engine. Bobby taking over, taking a look at the engine and its probably usefulness as a backup versus how much or how little they've used that rescue truck, the value of the rescue truck versus what they can get for the engine. Bobby would like to try to take that a different way, but I would say that it's not the end of the conversation. It's the beginning. It was introduced to these two council members, but it still hasn't been brought forward to the rest of the council. When it is, I will be sure not to have an oversight on my part. And I hope you don't think it was intentional. It wasn't. It was an absence of my mind.
Yeah,
Marlene, I was in town and ended up working till about 8 p.m. So I didn't go, but I also felt like it was more of a tour, the way Bobby kind of described it. So when my work kind of took precedent, normally I would absolutely go if I thought there was a topic of discussion or something that we had to cover or, something so urgent, but I thought it was a pretty casual sort of thing to go to. Otherwise I would have run over there, but I got tied up with my job and I didn't prioritize it for that very reason. But if I had thought there was like a meeting or a work session on a specific topic, and I would have been one of the first people to say, if you talked to Marlene yet, because then whenever they're buying or selling a truck, I'm like, what's the township said? That's
Well,
usually
I
my
appreciate
first
all the
question.
apologies, but you guys all know that the township pays half of the bills.
Mhm.
And there should never, ever be a meeting like that the township is not involved in. And apologies, thank you, but it doesn't change the fact.
I'm just saying,
And-
I didn't take it as a meeting. I took it as come look at our equipment, take a tour, get to know us, because I'm the new chief of fire, was how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's what it was to me too. I've never been through the whole facility comprehensively, and so he just showed us around and it was very comprehensive, all the equipment, and here's who we are, and it was more information.
That said, still, I can't go back in the past for them, but I will make sure you are on the email list whenever it's with EMS and fire. That's what I can do. Apologies don't do anything, but I can correct the behavior moving forward, and I will.
Okay, and I also want to make sure that you understand that the discussion of changing the trucks that we're trading in, and I understand that he's talking about the fact that they don't use the squad, but that does not change the reason that they convinced us that the Humper was the one that we should trade in because it's had electrical problems. It's had a lot of issues with repairs. And they thought that that's the one that we should trade in, and they convinced us of that it wasn't a reliable truck. And now all of a sudden, that's the truck we should keep, and we should get rid of the squad because we don't use it anymore. If the tanker isn't, or the pumper isn't any good and we don't use the squad, then is there a possibility that we can trade in 2 for 1? If we don't need them. I mean, I don't want the council making those kind of decisions without knowing that the township is disagreeing with what he recommended the other day. I'm not convinced that if they think that we're not using 2 trucks, then we get rid of 2 trucks.
Only man, I wasn't there either, but I might offer this as a suggestion that fairly soon we have a work session with the fire department in the township, so that we can go over these matters.
Whatever you guys decide, I just want to be involved in anything that involves the fire department.
Certainly, and that's why I'm offering this, is that we have a work session.
Another question I have is,
Yeah.
did we get a grant from the county for this year?
Which will be in my manager's notes, but I'll go ahead and let that cat out of the bag since we just got it on the first, and this is my first opportunity, but congratulations. We got the public safety grant for 50,000. Bobby and I went up. We got we appealed to it. The commissioners were very supportive, and we submitted the re-equipping for the truck, and we submitted the receipt for it.
And equipment that's in the budget, or what? Again, the township was not involved in any of the information on the grant.
I'll make sure to communicate with Bobby about getting copies of things to you.
Council, agreeable to a work session.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into budget season when we have those meetings anyway, and he hasn't brought it before us to begin with. So I feel like it's probably going to be a discussion at budget time anyhow, and we'll end up having a work session at that point, which Karen always sets it up where township is invited. So I don't know if we need a separate meeting unless he's got some sort of urgency about it, but it hasn't come before us yet. So it's not like it was, and if I thought it had been a topic for the tour, I would have said something myself. And I would have actually attended, but that's how little value I placed on taking a tour of the fire department, which I've done more than once. So I don't know if we need a special meeting because we're going to be having, I mean, Karen's calendar for budget time pretty much outlined it. So
What did we use the grant for? I mean, once again, the grant is for Culver Union Township. What did we use the grant for?
It's $50,000 for the re-equipment of the truck. I don't know if Bobby, the equipment that was given to me on the quote, Bobby spoke to the commissioners about it. I applied with the grant. What it was, I can provide you a detailed list on the quote, and I'll get it from Bobby to send to you. What it was equipment for the new engine, was what I was told. And so rather than add the cost to the cost of the new engine, we deferred that cost. And he presented a quote for $53,000 worth of equipment for the engine, which I was going to present. And we were able to obtain $50,000 off of that.
So that $50,000 was in addition to the original cost of the truck.
I didn't follow that. Not in addition to, it's deferring the cost of equipping that truck. We're trying to capture funds that grant's going to help supply and equip the new truck.
So instead of the truck costing us $1.2 million, we take another 50,000.
I'm not sure if Bobby included, did that truck include the cost of the original equipment or to equip it? I don't want to answer that without that. I can't remember what Terry presented, what was it, a year and a half ago? I don't remember. Do you? I don't remember. Did Terry have that in the
I
truck?
don't know what kind of equipment you bought. On there,
Yeah. I will get you the list, Marlene, and I apologize.
I don't know how I feel.
And I do, and I'm gonna make sure that we get that list for you. Thank you.
Is there someone online?
I think Bob was trying to say something.
I'm unmuted at one point.
He's the only one online, so. But I'm sure he'll catch up. Up here goes.
I was just gonna say, we have it on the schedule for the end of next week for starting to paint curbs.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Any other public concern utility ordinance violations? Next is public dialogue. This is an opportunity to address the council as far as any item on the agenda or any other thing you have in your mind. Is there anyone who wishes to speak as far as public input? Sir?
I have nothing to say at the moment, but thank you.
Anyone online for,
No, Bob's the only one online.
Pardon?
Bob is the only person. online.
Bob is the only person online. Okay. So on to the rest of the agenda. We have the minutes of the May 28th, 2026 regular meeting. Councilors, have everybody had a chance to look at the minutes and additions or corrections? Discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Mayor moves to approve the minutes of the May 28th meeting. Second. I'll second. Second by Mr. Day. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Those same sign. Under old business. Second and third read of ordinance 2026-004. Establishing eligibility requirements and procedures for applications for water utility and sewer bill forgiveness. This is rather lengthy, so I won't read all of this, but councilors, if we had a chance, everyone had a chance to look at this.
I haven't had a chance to look at it, but did he change those?
Yes,
The 60 days.
To 30 days.
I must have missed it. Oh,
That
Jen,
was the only edit.
that, yeah, 30 days covering two.
may I have a motion to approve on second read?
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Monroe to approve ordinance 2026. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Muir. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign. Anyone wish to suspend the rules?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules on third pass.
Mr. Monroe moves to suspend the rules on for third read of ordinance 04-2026. For a second. Second by Mr. Neer. Any more discussion, councilors? You satisfied? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ordinance is passed. We have any new business? Department reports. EMS.
Evening, council members. I passed out a summary of the calls that we had in May. That was just broken down kind of by category, by calls that we were dispatched for. We had a total of 34. And one personnel update we have from our department, Travis McVicker, who was one of our full-time EMTs, has accepted an interim position as chief of Lakeville Fire, so he has left our department. And we wished him well there, which kind of leads into the staffing proposal I sent to everyone requesting that we fill at least one of those spots, because right now we have a total of 6 spots and we only have 3 full-time employees. So what I would like to ask for is the council's permission to fill one of the open paramedic spots that was vacated by Mike Hazelfeld, and for you all to consider allowing me to add 2 more part-time spots to our roster.
Do you need the part-time to? Or you? You have part-time and then you also have one, like on call.
PRN, right,
PRNs,
right,
yeah.
right. So with the way that our SOPs are currently written, our PRN people are only required to work 1 12-hour shift a quarter. We have people that might come and work every 3 months. We have some people that haven't worked all year, and that kind of makes our roster look deceiving. So while we have 20 people on our roster, not everyone is active. So if we add more part-time people, that has people that are dedicated, putting in hours every month for availability and helping us to fill our schedule.
Lisa, I read the report and wondered if we should be backfilling 2 of those full-time roles? Or are you thinking that the 2 part-time would work kind of like what you guys did before? 2 part-times to make, cover the full-time
Sure.
where they're required more than the PRN.
Yeah, that's a great question. What I would like to do is to kind of go with that model that Mike used, and rather than filling 2 full-time spots, fill one of them with a paramedic, and then the other full-time spot, use 2 part-time people. That way we don't have to have all of the benefit packages and try to fill those hours with dedicated part-time people, and then maybe revisit this within 6 to 12 months to see how this model is working for our department.
Okay, that makes sense. I would make the motion to approve having Lisa backfill the 1 full-time role of the 3 that are open, and also in addition, like the 2 part-time, and see how this goes before.
More discussion, councilors. Mr. Moreau moves to approve the hiring of a full-time and 2 part-time personnel. It's second by Mr. Shardy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign.
So I guess along with that, I would like to promote one of our paramedics that interviewed with Mike for that full-time spot before they divided it up into 2 part-time spots, that he is still interested in that full-time spot, and rather than open up the process and go through the interview processes again, I would just like to promote Steve Kovitz from part-time to full-time with your approval.
Councilors, any discussion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Mr. Moreau moves to approve the promotion from part-time to full-time. And his name again, please?
Steve Kovitz.
Oh, Steve.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Muir. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign.
And then with that, since his part-time spot is now vacant, I would like to also put someone into his part-time spot. So I don't know if we need to make another motion for that, or if I can just
So
go ahead and fill his spot.
That's 3 part-time spots, right? We're trying
So,
to fill.
right, so that vacates 1 part-time spot. And then the addition of the 2, we'll have a total of 4 part-time spots. One of them is already filled by Austin Bragg. He's another part-time paramedic.
I'll make the motion to backfill Steve Coven's part-time position. While we're at it.
Okay.
The motion would be to approve backfilling Steve Covitt's part-time position.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Day. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign.
You. One project that Steve Kovitz has been working on for our inventory. He's been going through both of our ambulances and all of our supplies in our cabinets, organizing them, doing outdates, which has not been done effectively in the past. And we had a very, very large amount of outdated supplies that we've had to start ordering to replace these things. Some things have expired this year. Some things we found back to 2017 that were expired. So in order to make sure that we are up to par on our operations side, we need to make sure that all of those things are removed and replacing equipment for both of our ambulances and our extra supplies. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we're going to be ordering a lot of extra supplies in the next few weeks. We've already done several orders, but we have more to go. So he's kind of spearheaded organizing everything, all of our cabinets, coming up with a better system for us to keep inventory and track things and not let things go expired like they have in the last few years. So Steve Kovitz, like I said, has spearheaded that program and is looking really great. We welcome you guys to stop by and take a look at that at any time. EMS week was a great success. We had lots of people come for our open houses. We had classes. One of our ER doctors came with his family and took one of our classes. We did CPR, stop the bleed. We talked about strokes. We recognized all of our employees and had a really great turnout. We had a lot of local businesses recognize us, so that was really great. I just wanted to let you guys know. For those of you that stopped by, thank you. And we'll look forward to it again next year. We missed you, Sally.
The only time that I can leave.
Onto vehicle maintenance, I believe Kevin presented or Karen at the last council meeting, because I was not able to be here, that we had an ambulance that needed to have the air conditioning repaired on it. That has been repaired, and evidently that's been a problem for 5 years or so. I'm not sure. The report that I got, it wasn't quite as bad as what they had thought in the past. So initially I was told that they would have to fix the front and the back air conditioner separately, and it's going to be about $10,000. Come to find out, the back did not need to be repaired. It was just a switch that was not being used correctly. So we all got training on that, how to turn the air conditioning on. And the front was fixed for a little bit under $4,000. I'm not sure. I don't have the bill for it yet, but it's back functioning and we're ready to roll for summer. So that's been taken care of. We did get some equipment during EMS week from Furno. We got 3 new traction splints, which we will be implementing some training on that and putting them on our ambulances. We've also had a couple of our staff members step up and do some station cleaning and organizing in addition to all of the supplies and the inventory. So we invite you guys to stop by and see our progress, bear with us. It is a work in progress, but our people are really excited for the leadership transition, and everybody's been supportive, and we're doing a lot with our station. And finally, looking ahead, I just want to start bringing some of my staff to meet you guys and for you to meet my staff members. So when I talk about people, you guys can put a face to the name and kind of get to know some of our employees. So tonight I brought Paul Matthewson. He is one of our PRN paramedics, and I'm going to let him talk to you guys for just just a minute. Give a quick
Well, thank you, Lisa.
synopsis.
Curveball. I like it. Okay, my name is Paul Matthewson. I'm a full-time paramedic firefighter for the city of Plymouth. I teach CTE for Plymouth High School during the school year. We teach fire in the morning and EMT classes in the afternoon. worked down at Culver now, number of years. I think I started, first time PRN down here was close to 10 years ago, I would say, with Kathy. And so I've always grown to love this area. It reminded me a lot where I grew up at. It's a wonderful place to work. I thank you guys for helping us out with staffing and equipment. It's always a changing game all the time with prices. So I know that that's always a concern, and everything going down at state, you never really know what you get. So we just appreciate the support. We appreciate Lisa stepping up, and there's definitely a morale boost with her being in this position at this current time. And look forward to working with you. I'll be around a lot. Hope you get one of those part-time spots, but beside the fact, okay, little plug there. So yeah, and looks like I'm a part-time carpenter. I'm putting together a desk today. So if you see a mess in that room, trust me, it's organized, and that desk should be operational here within the hour or two.
So we advertise as CTE skills on the PR.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you in addition.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the intro and the good summaries.
If you guys don't have any other questions, that's all I have for you tonight.
I do have a question. Back when we were going through different things, you mentioned that you have to order a lot of supplies. Do you have the money in the budget?
Right now I do. We're still going through and taking in inventory of what we need to replace. So I might have to revisit that in the future, but as of right now, we're still okay.
So what do we do with the old equipment?
Great question. So the old equipment, I've been making a list of all of that by item and quantity so that I can let you guys know how much we actually had to get rid of. And with your permission, I would like to donate that to the Culver Military Academy Health Science Programs.
You need a motion for that.
I would probably wait until we get the list
Okay.
from Lisa and
Yeah,
a
got the
specific
list.
request, I think would be.
It might be another month or so.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully your salary line item in the budget is tanked a bit, which will help make up for supplies. So if we've not paying benefits on a few people for the rest of the year, that's gonna make a huge difference.
And our overtime has, I feel like it really leveled out. With Travis's departure, we kind of had to slide some people into some spots and do what we had to do to get that covered. And then with my transition into learning all of the things that Mike did, we might have a little bit more than normal, but once we get back to our normal operations, our overtime has been really good.
Been very solid, and like you said, Lisa, the only one that's tracked off is with the transition. And that's still within reason, so.
Anything else?
Not tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Good report on fire. Bob online.
He is not online. Mr. Cooper sent the report through email, and I'll let it speak for itself. So there's a lot of detail in it, but he gave an informative report in it. Sent it today, so I didn't have much time to process it.
All right. Any questions on fire? If not, Chief Becker.
Good evening, council. We'll give you our May reports. Also, in addition, this month, you'll see the second page is a summary there. So it kind of lists month to month up to the current date that we are. You'll see, if you look at the summary page, you'll see that May, our number starts to increase. That's just historical. There's nothing remarkable there. We all know that May is our opening time frame. Season, a lot of new people come through, a lot of busy weekends that take place in May. So of course the numbers are going to increase and things. I always like to see the accident reports are always low. So we're doing well with that. Hopefully our traffic enforcement relates to that as well. So nothing terribly remarkable. You'll just see those numbers start to increase and they will stay that way through the summer months and until Labor Day. So those are the May reports. Again, we got through May. Those are always historically our busy opening weekends, all busy weekend. And always just the typical increase in calls and types of calls. Gearing up for the 4th of July weekend, with this being the big 4th of July, America's 250. We typically reach out to our reserves, the Marshall County Sheriff Reserves, to help us with the increase of the people in the town park. They come in for that fireworks display that's out on the lake. I did reach out to them. I was a little concerned that I wasn't going to be able to get any type of help from them because everybody's having big fireworks displays this year. So they're spread limited. But I was assured that I could probably at least get a couple of them. I have some other suggestions maybe, and I will contact Crystal at the park department and see if we can maybe utilize some park staff there for extra eyes and ears on some of the things that we watch for the piers. Trying to keep people off the pier is some of our concern. We don't want to overload those because we want people out on them. So if I can get a couple law enforcement officers to canvass the park, then maybe some of those traditional duties that we have officers staged in certain areas. Maybe we can get some extra staff. So I'll coordinate that with, Crystal for the park department. Vehicle stuff. One of our Chargers, we got those in 2023. One of our Chargers with just over 30,000. We've noticed some of the waste coming from the front of that. Took that to the dealer. They practically replaced the front end, tie rods, struts, shocks, whatever they are on the front, and picked that up, got it back. Noticed it fixed one side, but then I heard another noise on another side. So I had to take it back up, and they then had to part warranty one of the parts that they put on to replace the bad one. So I picked that up for the second time and got it back to town and noticed the sound was still continuing. So that car will be going back up. Luckily, all that is still under warranty. So that's all being taken care of on car wise. And I don't think I have anything further unless you folks have something for me. You like me to go into further detail now?
I don't think there's anything further, Chief.
Yeah, thank you much.
Thank you.
Just keep on until they fix it.
That, when I picked it up for the second or third time, I was glad they weren't open when I picked it up because it allowed me just to have a day before I called.
Thank you. Park is Crystal online or anything?
No, she sent us a message that she had a family event tonight,
Okay.
but wanted to take care of trees on the shoreline. It sounded like you got that covered.
Yeah. Crystal had, and she informed council through email, sort of emergency tree removal. The sycamores on the beach were, which we had been monitoring, but they finally gave way on some of the limbs. So she called Hooters and received the quote. It is to remove 3 sycamores on the beach by building, clean up debris and grinding the stumps. The first sycamore by the pier, and I'm assuming by the pier, is $2,500. The second sycamore going west will going west. There we go, back towards the building. We're going to get that at the majority. They're going to leave it 8 foot tall and complete it in the winter. It's just kind of, it's in an awkward position. So they're going to cut it down to 8 foot tall and then come back and remove the stump and everything. It's kind of in the way of business daily. And then the third sycamore going west, they'll also remove that in its entirety in the winter. They're going to hold back to do anything. That tree seems to really is needing removal, but it's secured and it's not presenting any immediate danger from what Crystal has told me. So in sum, it's going to be $8,500 for the total job. That includes the stump removal, the removal of the brush and trees, and all labor. She would ask for your approval tonight of this quote.
And she was wise in discussing that there may be controversy about taking those beloved trees down. Do we have an answer for that? Do we have a statement?
Lemon trees down. I have been told that the trees, by the assessment, they are in need of removal. It's not a pruning situation simply because the tree is dead. It's rotting from the inside and it's going to be a
We have
reoccurring
state-
problem.
We have a statement though. For the people.
A written affidavit.
They will-
If so desired by council, I can communicate that and I can get that done. Yes.
We just know that, so.
Yeah.
We'll doubt that they should be taken down. Why? I mean, I hate to see them down too, but we know that.
And do I?
Due diligence, we know that they need to come
Come
down.
down pictures of them just to say that, hey, this is the date you're in the safety. Have that just for questions.
I can obtain anything that the council, hopefully. I've still got I got a tree out there that, yeah, I can.
Don't want.
I did ask,
Yeah.
I will admit, that was the first question out of my mouth is there, and Kieran and I both had the same reaction. Is there any way that we can prune the trees? Or is it a necessary thing? Kieran was in the room with me at the time and the answer, we had Crystal on the phone and she said, no, that she's being told that they need to be removed. We're taking the word of the tree company and obviously they're not going to do it just for the pricing. I mean, there needs to be a removal, but we can absolutely affirm it if that's the desire of the council.
I just make sure we have a statement, yes.
A lot of times you can't really tell how bad they are until you cut them.
Yeah.
And I had one that everybody said, oh, we shouldn't have cut that. It looks great. And it had about a 2-inch ring around the outside that was holding it up.
I think one of the things that factor into this is that is a public beach area and there are a lot of individuals there. And I think that public safety kind of takes precedent here of better, not to say it like better safe than sorry, but when in doubt, right? I think, and what the tree has presented over the last 2 years is some issues with limbs coming down and precarious positions. So
Need that on landing.
we certainly do not. And I think that because of the liability that it presents and also out of concern of public safety, I think that takes precedent over the preservation of the trees, quite frankly, but that's not the motivating factor. The motivating factor is I was being told that they need to come down because they're not going to survive.
Yeah, I'm fine with this taking it down. Just for the safety. I mean, you look at it. They look pretty bare at this point in time.
Just statement in the back end.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sorry, sir. The time for questions is over, sir.
So with the condition I put in front of the council again for $8,500 for the quota removal, if there's any additional conditions that you would like to place on that motion, I'd be happy to satisfy council.
I'll make a motion to approve the $8,500 expense for the removal of the one and the eventual removal of the other two.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve the appropriation of $8,500 to remove the trees. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Day. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
That would be the only order of business I have for park tonight.
Bob, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I don't have any action items for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Anyone have any questions for Bob?
No.
No.
Oh, I did have a quick one. Bob, do we finish the flushing this week at end of week or are we still flushing still?
We're still flushing. Late tomorrow, we should be complete with it.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
You betcha.
Thank you, Bob. Town managers report.
I have a special permit this evening. The special permit request is for July 3rd. It's from 6 PM to 11 PM. It has been conducted over the, I think, at least 3 years that I've been here, but it's the annual block party. 200 people are anticipated at 1035 West Shore Drive. It is Christopher Reed and Leslie Reed. Their contact information was provided. There will be live music ending at 10 or 11. There is golf carts only or by walking. They've made arrangements to ensure that parking is not an issue on West Shore, as they have the last couple of years and have honored that. Will any businesses require closures? No. No need for signs. There will be security provided, which they have done for the last couple of years, and responsibly, we will clean out after the event. They will have first aid provided on site, and there will be a stage and speakers used. Any additional information? No. And that is the extent of the permit, and with all signatures obtained for the permit by the department heads. The event, again, July 3rd, 6 PM to 11 PM.
Given we've never received complaints about this event, I'll make the motion to approve the special permit.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Maroon to approve the permit, second by Ms. Riccardi. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, council. I asked permission tonight. I've been contacted by Maxicali Performing Arts Theater of at least a time frame for demo. Their time frame provided was from July 6th and I put a cap on it to the 15th. And the second frame is from June 13th to the 27th. That was provided by me if they want to do it in June, because they had mentioned they may want to do it earlier than the July date. There are 2 events that we need to be sensitive of, and those would be the 4th of July celebration and Lake Fest. Both of those timeframes are considering those, and in consideration of the removal of all equipment from that parking lot, as well as securing the site. I would ask council's permission to use that parking lot during the act of demolition to ensure safety and to give the demolition room to work, with the one condition that I would appreciate that you add any damages they would be responsible for to the parking lot caused by equipment. But I would ask a motion to use the parking lot temporarily during the dates of demolition for the removal of the building, with the condition that they will be responsible for any damages to the parking lot.
Is that for the entire parking lot or just the 20-foot?
I think that if we were to provide them 20-foot, Sally, that would be, I think, enough. I haven't consulted them, but I think that would give them plenty of room to work. I won't be out there with a ruler, but yeah, I think limiting it.
Block off a couple of parking places there on Lakeshore Drive, I don't think, in front of the building.
I think it's a good add to ensure that our fire department has access to the parking lot in case of a call.
You know, if they were to load 2 or 3 dumpsters in there, say,
Yeah,
that would take up the entire parking lot. Firemen would be hunting for a place to park.
exactly.
Like they were numerous years ago.
So we will put the 20-foot east side of the parking lot to that motion.
You might be able to get a MOU from Kevin Tankersley on they're being responsible for damages. They just sign a basic MOU.
I think I'll rephrase it then with that suggestion, Sally. May I have permission from the council to acquire an MOU or contract, whichever Kevin advises, to provide the theater group and their contracted demolition team 20-foot east parking lot during the dates that I've read, with the conditions that I've stipulated.
So I'm gonna,
Thank you.
Been moved by Mr. Maroon to,
Karen's typing that as quickly as possible.
Second, Bill.
okay. Second by Mr. Nero. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I
Thank
can
you.
see why they need it, because that alley behind those businesses probably get delivery trucks.
Yeah.
For like Mark's Place.
You've got buildings,
Three people.
buildings in play there. You've got safety problems on Lake Shore and buildings in
Yeah.
play. So the only way you're coming at
It'd be
that
hard to
building is
get
on the
to
west side. Yep. And confidence in their contractor. So, just some information for council. We had our initial wastewater meeting today. Sally was able to attend. Moving forward, we're probably going to call some work sessions for some of those meetings. Karen had the idea of having them walk us through where the decision-making parameters are and the choices that we have in front of us, kind of taking us through, I think Karen said it best, wastewater 101. It was an encouraging meeting. It looks like our price points are being honored and looked at, and really looking forward to it. It's a good kickoff meeting. And
Kevin, I know Mark mentioned the possibility of cost savings to build, operate.
transfer. Yep.
Is he still thinking about it?
Yeah, he loves to build, operate, and transfer, and I think Bob was really encouraged by it. And I think for the reasons that he said, so am I. It offers the best way of securing your budgetary parameters. It oftentimes saves communities and experience across Indiana money at the end. Two reasons why is that it's coming in at a precise number, and you're not getting bombarded with change orders from your contractor. It also forms that partnership with the construction and design early on. So it ensures that a lot of the times in the field, when you take a blueprint, you're getting that out of the way. So it's time efficient as well. It keeps to a time schedule really well. Still under discussion, obviously. And, as we move forward, that's why council needs to be brought into those work sessions as that starts looking towards funding in both models. So
I thought it was encouraging to hear that he's done bots in the past because it takes you a little longer to get to the final budget, but there's so much more planning work up front that what your budget is, and they are obligated, your contractors are obligated to stick to it. So we're seeing more of this across the state with municipalities, but that's good to hear.
Yeah. And you really don't, according to Mark, and I've heard this from other people, the bidding process oftentimes, you're thinking you're getting that competitive price through competition, but what you get is the low price and then change ordered to death. And all of a sudden you've got an extra $3 million on the post contract, right? And this. So I think there's some merit to it. And I think it's warranting a further discussion when council gets together with it. So it was good. Yep. Wastewater. Today I went up to the mayor's meeting, or Marshall County leadership, depends on what you want to call it, but we met at the mayor's office in Plymouth. A lot of topics of discussion, but one that I think that should be in front of the council is the must meetings. Working with Bremen, talking with Argus in Plymouth, there's a desire to get together. Karen's been leading the charge, not only with the clerk treasurers, but also prompting me, moving my mouth. But I think we've got a date for 6/23, June 23rd at 1:00. To get together as a community. Commissioner Klotz was very receptive to the idea. He's going to take it to the council, the county council, and talk with council member Harmon, and to see if get that relationship built in the communication. I think it's a difficult question with lit. Karen was kind enough to Mayor Joe from Warsaw, Joe Thalmer, came in and he walked us through. He's now working for AIM, but he worked us through the numbers, and it's a difficult conversation right now. And Marlene, I know you've been working with the township stuff too, in the county, and there's a lot of people impacted, including the overlapping tax districts, and it's time to get the conversation started, even though we don't know when the date is, and we're not sure what the parameters of decision-making are because they haven't been solidified, but having conversations earlier, I think, is better, and getting people at the table. So definitely looking forward to that. I'm working on Dora. You'll see, Chad and I have been working on it. It's taken some time to do it. We want to make sure we don't have unintended consequences. Designated outdoor refreshment area. I think we've got a location, sent it to the council. Would like to put that on the agenda for next meeting for discussion. Obviously, there's some public hearings involved in it as well, so we'll get those advertised so we can get input. I would recommend that as we bring that to the council, as we move through the process of getting an resolution ordinance, they recommend doing 3 readings. So I think taking our time, over a course of 3 meetings as recommended by the state, to make sure that we account for public hearings, public input, making sure that we fully understand. So be putting that together. Give me any input, and if you didn't get that copy, I'll be happy to send it again. That is all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Ms. Heim, your report.
I just had a couple of claims over $2,500 that needed your approval. The first one is for text.gov. It's for $3,000 and it's for contractual services. It's the texting service that we have. The second one is Peerless Midwest for $20,000. That is for the project at the water plant, and that comes out of the GEO bond. $6,700 to Zaner Excavating for sand at the park. And finally, $10,151.05 for State Board of Accounts. And that is for the audit of 2021 through 2024. And that's something that just comes off the top front.
That's not a bad price. I would have guessed it would have been higher.
It's not awful. So I tried to move that as fast as possible.
Obviously you did, because I've been through an audit with them on a small, conservancy district, and you came no higher. So good job, Karen.
I can have a motion to approve those claims.
So moved.
Mr. Marine moves to approve claims over $2,500. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Shardy. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Our trees got taken care of. Just wanted to let you know that I did process the payroll for the biannual payroll for the firefighters. That will appear on the next set of claims though, as I was already done. It's processed tomorrow, but just to let you know, there are 15 rostered volunteers, including 2 trainees. Those 2 trainees receive half pay. So if they go on 8 runs, they would only they basically get half of what the rest of the guys would get for that amount of runs. They did have 67 runs between December 1st and May 31st. And last year for that same period of time, there were 62 runs. The average run per volunteer was 21.8, and the average pay per run was $107.16. So the average run, if you divided up what we paid out, it was about $690.02. Was average personnel cost per run. Now, that's average. Some runs were 30 minutes because it was a call off, or other runs I'm sure took a lot longer. So, and then one thing that I think Kevin intended to put on his report, but with the pace of life lately that the 2 of us are both going at and juggling a lot of different things, didn't make it. But just as the 4th of July is coming up, it falls on a Saturday in the middle. I mean, last year it was crazy here. I'm sure it'll be even more crazy. But just asking the council, what are some things that some communication out to the community, any sort of action that you would suggest the town take on in advance. One of the things that we talked about was a sign at the charging station. I know that became an issue last year, or just some communication, putting out some communication that, hey, please don't park your car here all weekend because there are other people. Please be considerate. I think we talked about a couple of other things.
We talked about, parking. Making sure people know where public parking is and available, and making sure people understand that the streets are going to be busy. There were a couple other things that came up in the course of it, but we're looking to make a list and getting it out there as a preemptive way of reminding people, especially for safety reasons. That's one of the things that we're looking at. Lakeshore has been an ongoing thing, and that's why we're looking into a redesign and went for the grant. We've got to enhance public safety and awareness of pedestrians down there. And been talking with Bob, get some signage up and stuff, but yeah, just getting a list together for the 4th, the things we need to get our public on mind with, and also just good safety measures for the summer, especially with golf carts.
I think that putting out the safety message is a good idea.
But sometimes, I mean, we don't see everything. So otherwise, if there's some things that you think of, let us know, and messaging that we can get.
I have noticed some of the messaging you guys put on the electronic board at the high school. It does catch my eye because I drive past it quite a bit. I think that's a good place of, it's a happy fourth, please be safe.
Try to get things out on the website, like the flushing is there and a lot of the meeting schedules and whatnot. And it's just, sometimes it's hard to play IT and town crier and, but no excuses. We can always do better. So if anybody has any ideas, we'll welcome them and we'll try to get that out.
And if they're gonna start the painting next week, maybe that's an area to prioritize. It's where we have the heaviest foot traffic.
Yeah, I agree. I think now that we brought on a part-time employee for Bob for seasonal, the gentleman who's so far doing a great job, but he's out picking up brush, doing the mowing, and that frees up some labor. And I was glad to hear Bob hop on because I never liked committing him until I'm sure, but yeah, we've had those conversations. We got the tree removal list done. We went around, looked at the streets for the paving list, and the topic was also on the painting and the emergency stuff. And he wants to get with Chad one more time. I think he was saying maybe for a ride along to take a look to make sure, but getting that new sprayer out is always good. Getting some paint in it's good and getting that done. So thank you.
I know we can't do it for this year, Chad, but have you seen ordinances for charging stations where you can ticket a car that's been, you know, like say you have one that's there 8 hours or 12 or whatever?
I think there's an established limit down there. Is there an ordinance that
I
enforces?
believe so. When that charging station was implemented in there, I haven't noticed any issues with it or have received any complaints on it. But I believe, so I don't know the verbiage off the top of my head, but I believe it was in there about restricting to only vehicles that are EV that can park there. I would have to go back and refresh and look and see if there's a time limit on those.
My memory says yes, I looked at it, I think we had an issue, but I don't know if there's a penalty, but I'll do footwork for you.
Yeah,
Happy to
last
do it.
year. Was it 4th of July weekend or Labor Day or one of those?
Yeah,
It just, we experienced it in our household, but, you know, have, since we're done resolving it, but it was kind of a bit of a headache.
it is.
At some point, I'm sure we'll be able to add stations. You know, there's a larger population of people driving those cars than there used to be, obviously, but I wonder, I just didn't know if we can ticket them or not.
I'll
So
look
good
it
to
up.
know.
I'll look it up.
And I know it's not like we can whip up an ordinance before 4th of July, but it'll be good to know if it's possible.
I have some suggestions on parking, so we can implement it in that parking ordinance revision.
Yes, sir.
And I think a simple sign out there will do the trick, like laminate something and pop it out there. And
Don't get a lawn chair now for all interested.
although I think there were people who left people notes on their windshields, I'm sure. I wasn't one of them.
Friendly notes.
Might have been my daughter.
I witnessed 2 people get in a fight over the charging station, and then I saw a note on one of the vehicles when I was bringing a car in, so I was like, oh, it's getting ugly over here. And I babysat mine to make sure I got out of there quick. But yeah,
Ms. Simon, you have anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Council issues, Ms. Monroe.
I don't have any issues. I want to thank the department heads and Kevin and Karen for such thorough reports. It's nice to know what's going on, and this is such a busy season for everybody. But the fact that you guys are so detailed in reporting is, I think, a really good thing for the town. So thank you.
I have none, Bill.
Okay. Mr. Brady?
I was sorry that I couldn't make it to the EMS get together, but heard people, it was very nice and appreciate you doing it.
Jay? I have none. I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Your moves to adjourn, second? Second. A second on Mr. Day. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.